this video, we're going to be going over how to charge the clicker. I'm going to show two different ways of doing this. One is the easy way for when you just don't have a lot of time. Charging the clicker should not take a lot of time to begin with, but I recognize that there are times where we just don't feel up to doing all the preparation work and taking the 2 minutes that it should take to do a session on charging the clicker. So I'm going to show you the short way, and then I'm going to show you the long way, though 2 minutes is not long. First, what we need is we need for the dog to recognize that you have food, and we need for them to desire that food. If you don't have those two things, you need to get those two things before you can effectively charge the clicker. So when it comes to charging the clicker the easy way, and when I say charge, what I mean is we are taking a stimulus which is neutral to the dog, it holds no meaning, and we are giving it meaning. So the click should mean, that sound of the click should mean the food is available, come and take the food. Ideally, come and take the food from me, but as I'll show you with the easy approach, that doesn't necessarily mean that to the dog if you do skip those steps. And again, it's okay to do this, especially early on. So what I'll have is I'll have the dog's food pre-prepared. It's in the bowl. The dog knows the food is in the bowl. And once he hears the click, I'm simply going to drop the food bowl. Now, my recommendation for this would be that you try to be random as to when the dog hears that click, which should bring on the food. So in one of those easy sessions, I might stand for a moment, click, drop the food. And the next session I do, I might stand for 2 to 3 seconds, click, and then bring the food to the dog or drop the food down for the dog to take. But the important thing is that the click precedes the food being delivered. So it should be click, 1/1000, drop the food down. So the dog begins to anticipate the food coming once he does hear that click. So just going to demonstrate for you how that might look. Hagrid, just going to release him. Click, bring the food down. Okay, so when you do have a moment or two to take to load the clicker or charge the clicker, what I would prefer you to do is not use the bowl, but to feed your dog by hand. And you shouldn't do more than, honestly, 2 to 3 repetitions is enough. So this shouldn't take more than a few minutes. And what I like to do is if my goal is to have the click mean run to me and take the food from me, then I do need the dog away from me and to have him reliably come to take the food back from me. So by simply having a handful of food, you can do this with a bowl as well. I have a handful of food here. Hagrid knows that I have food in my hand. He knows that I have a lot in my hand at the moment. By simply taking one piece of kibble, tossing it away from me, I can get the dog to go away from me, all right? So what I want you to do is take one piece of kibble, toss it from the dog away from you, toss it to the dog but away from you, and the dog, knowing that you have more food after he consumes that piece, should be turning around and running back to you. In the middle of him running back to you, you should go ahead and click and then present the handful of food to the dog. So we're going one piece of kibble with no click away. Dog turns to come back to you. Click presents a whole lot of food for the dog to then consume. So going to do just a couple of repetitions and demonstrate how that looks. And that's a whole meal. One thing to avoid is we do want the dog to be required to take the food that is given. So if I'm tossing one piece of kibble and him knowing that I have a whole lot more over here, he may decide to step away from that piece of kibble or not go all the way away from me to get that one piece of kibble, knowing that I have more over here. I then will not click or I then will not present any food until he does actually go and take that one piece that I threw. And he may actually decide too much effort and walk away. That's not a problem. I'll just end the session there and offer him the rest of his meal the next meal time.